Today on Absolute Anthem, I'm bringing you guys a bit of Anthem news. We got some things happening this week, some things that happened over the weekend. In fact, we finally got a name for the individual, the leader of the Dominion that we saw in the most recent story trailer. They are simply known as the Monitor. Now, I already broke down that story trailer and discussed it in detail this past Thursday, so roll your way back to the main channel if you want to check that one out. We're going to move forward with the rest of the news today, starting with official details for the demo, which is going to be happening on January 25th for people who have pre-ordered the game or are subscribers to EA Access or Origin Access. Now, don't worry if you don't want to pre-order because you're not sure about the game yet. You want to actually allow BioWare and EA to really earn your dollar. The demo will be available on February 1st for everyone else on all three platforms. So this is going to be an open, free demo, just like they used to do back in the good old days, as many people would say. I'm actually really stoked to see this. You know, there's a lot of great things happening in gaming right now, a lot of amazing games being made, but I've tended to stay salty over the fact that demos just aren't a thing anymore. We get lots of betas, but those betas are usually locked behind pre-order agreements and, hey, you gotta give us all your money before you can even play the beta and find out if you like the game or not. So having a good old-fashioned demo that's going to be available like a full 2.5 weeks before the game releases on February 22nd is fantastic, and it's a great way to show confidence in your product, as BioWare is doing here, to say, hey, play the game. Let us know what you think of it. If you don't like it, great. That's fine. You learned you didn't like the game. You don't have to spend your money on it. If you like it, cool. We'll see you February 22nd. Now, the demo is going to be limited in scope and content. I imagine it's going to be more about introducing players to that core gameplay loop, so flying in combat and letting them get a taste of the world, but don't expect to, have like an infinite experience that you can just explore until the game releases. They've also said that the demo is going to be time limited, so I'm imagining that eventually the demo is going to go away, but I can imagine we're going to see it run at least through the game's release date, maybe a couple weeks after that. All you really need to know is you can play Anthem for free before it releases and find out if it's a game you're going to continue to be interested in, or if it's a game that wins you over, or that doesn't win you over, that disappoints you before you even have to spend $1, and that is a very, very consumer-friendly decision. So kudos to BioWare for that one. Now, Ben Irving is going to be hosting the next BioWare Anthem livestream, which is going to be happening this Thursday, the 13th of December at 4 p.m. EST, and they're going to be covering a lot of good stuff. We're going to be looking at loot, progression, loadouts, gear and builds, and more. And Ben is going to be bringing a mystery guest with him. I'm imagining another member of the BioWare team, which is always exciting to meet individuals who have actually worked on this project. There's a lot of good stuff there. I mean, loot, progression, loadouts, gear, and builds. I'm personally excited for all of it, but if I had to sort of beam in on a few things, I'm most excited to see how loadouts and gear and builds work, because that's where a lot of the depth in the game is going to come from, a lot of ways in which we're going to be able to build out our own characters, and I'm really hoping for some like Monster Hunter style depth here. I want a reason to go out and collect loot and to replay certain missions, replay content in the game, to find those pieces, to put together those perfect builds, to acquire that gear, to really personalize my Javelin from a gameplay perspective. I'd love to hear what you guys are most excited about for that upcoming live stream. Let me know down in the comment section below. And I wanted to wrap up today's video by talking a little bit about non-disclosure agreements, because of course the closed alpha happened this past weekend and you signed an NDA if you participated in that, and that NDA said that you were not supposed to talk about the game outside of the closed alpha forums that were specifically designed for people participating under the NDA so they could talk about the game in private while not breaking the NDA. A bunch of people broke the NDA anyway. I removed at least a dozen comments over the weekend of people just openly discussing the alpha in my comment section. I didn't ban you, by the way, if you were one of those individuals, but your comment was deleted in case you were wondering why. You were openly breaking the NDA in my comment section, and that is no bueno. There were some people who tried to live stream it who were like, oh, I didn't even know what the NDA said. I'd like to say that that's bullshit and that these people knew exactly what they were doing, but it's clear that that's not the case. A lot of people unfortunately got access to like the invite link for the NDA, which was supposed to be more of like a friends and family style closed alpha, where if you've been signed up for community testing for a while, you got an invite through email and you kind of made your way in through priority ways. But everybody looked at it, and of course people just want to play the game. It's not about technical testing the game for the team, which is actually what the closed alpha was a focus on, was technical tests, not like, hey, I get to play the game, where's all the content? It was a technical test, right? And people didn't understand that. They didn't understand what they signed, and they just started spewing discussion everywhere, and that's bad for a couple reasons. First and foremost, if you are just a normal individual, not a creator, not a journalist, you should read things you sign, like contractual agreements. This is a legally binding agreement, by the way. They could actually take legal action. Most people don't. What they could do, I guess what they would probably do if you broke that NDA and they wanted to enforce it as an individual normal person, they would simply ban you from any further alpha or beta tests. So any opportunity to play the game through an alpha or a beta in the future, you would be blacklisted from that. Again, it could be worse, but that's usually what most people do. I want to talk, though, about the creator side of it. So if you're a Twitch streamer or an aspiring YouTuber or an aspiring journalist, listen, NDAs are very serious business. They are there not to be broken. And when people break them, it's very frustrating. There's a reason why a lot of the prototype testing I do, alpha testing, beta testing that I do for different developers, different studios that I've gotten into, indie or otherwise, have to plaster like your entire account name across the screen sometimes, because they're doing everything they can to be able to shut down people who break their NDAs, because it happens way too often. You need to read these things. Again, they are legally binding agreements, and as a large creator, medium-sized creator, small creator, when you start doing stuff like this, yes, they can take financial, they can look at you and say, hey, we're going to fine you for that. On a more common and I guess more realistic perspective, what would probably happen is that they would again ban you from any future alpha or beta tests. But this goes a step further if you're a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber. Imagine this, right? Say you're like sitting on the lower spectrum of YouTube, you've got like 10,000 subscribers, you've been, building your channel, you're proud of all the hard work you've done over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been, right? You start covering Anthem, you're getting lots of good exposure from it. Ooh, not a lot of people covering this game. I'm in a little bit of a niche here. This is working out really well for me, And you're excited about the game. You're covering it, creating content for it. You participate in the alpha, you decide not to read the NDA, you break the NDA. Your content is removed from wherever you broke the NDA with it. It's removed from YouTube, it's taken down, and you just think to yourself, oh man, I made a mistake, and you move on, right? You keep covering Anthem. What you don't know is that in the background, the team at BioWare is over there, and their marketing team, their PR team's thinking to themselves, okay, we want to start sending out some early footage. We want to give opportunities to people to be flown in to play an early build of Anthem, where they can capture footage and then talk about that game before anyone else on their channel. That sort of an opportunity is massive for a content creator, for a Twitch streamer. That's a great way to get exposure, to build your channel, to turn your hobby into a business, or to grow what you might already consider a second, third, whatever business, right? Unfortunately, they see Dave's channel, right? And they're like, man, Dave's doing good. He's covering a lot of content. We like the way he he talks about the game. We like how critical he is. We like his content. All right, let's go ahead and email Dave. They email you asking for your EA account details so they can allow you to sign another NDA and maybe consider flying you out or giving you access to some footage. Unfortunately, upon looking at Dave's EA account, they realized that Dave broke NDA when he participated in the alpha about a month and a half ago. They decided to say to Dave, actually, sorry, it looks like you broke a non-disclosure agreement with us previously, and we're no longer interested in giving you this opportunity. Yeah, you're going to close a lot of doors for yourself real quick. You start running around breaking NDAs left and right, all right? So a little bit of a lesson for, journalists, creators, anybody aspiring to do any of those things. Read the NDA. Take it very seriously. It is not a joke. It is disrespectful to the team that is working very hard on this game behind the scenes to do that, and it is also breaking a legally binding agreement. It is not a joke. I will leave it at that. I've rambled and preached enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave any of your thoughts on anything we covered today down in the comment section below. And as always, it's you, me, all these other folks hanging out on this planet we call Earth. Be awesome to one another, because at the end of the day, it's all we got. And who knows, maybe tomorrow a black hole just appears out of nowhere over the northern hemisphere and sucks us all up in a matter of seconds, and it's all gone. It's all gone.